Hello there. A couple of days ago, I decided that I wanted to paint my nails to look like dinosaur eggs, and I gotta say, mission accomplished. So, not the point of this video, but today we are going to be building a palette for winter. This is going to largely take the place of my December Shop My Stash. I am going to be doing my inventory at some point in the month of December, so if you, like me, are a nosy Nelly whose main interest often in seeing Shop My Stash videos is just to get a peek into other people's collections, you'll get to see that. Additionally, because I was doing my inventory, I knew that I would be messing up whatever I put in my Shop My Stash quite early. I also want to redo my storage probably in mid-December. I'm actually going to do some thrifting today to hopefully find some things to help with that organization. Anyway, that was a very long explanation for something that really didn't need any. We are going today to put together a palette with very wintry shades. On a recent Lauren May Beauty video, her prompt to drive engagement was what palettes or color stories you thought were very wintry. And as I was thinking, I was like, I want a grayed out violet, periwinkles, pinks, and like cool toned golds, warm toned silvers. So I have all of my Colourpop palettes out. I have the small format circular shadows, and we're gonna put them, I think, in this palette. I think that I should be able to get at least 12 and maybe 16 shadows in here if I arrange things correctly. If not, I will move over to a one size larger palette. But let's get to it. I feel like I've been talking for like 5 minutes already, and that's unnecessary. So, the first shade that I know I want is this Mind's Eye from the In a Trance palette. This is exactly the kind of grayed out violet that I was talking about. And in a pretty similar vein, again from the same palette, I want Up Level, which is a periwinkle. Okay, so it's looking like 12 is probably going to be more the case than 16. But the next shade that I want is going to be from my new acquisition palettes. These are the Stone Cold Fox, which is in the gray packaging, or sort of off-white packaging, and the Play It Jewel palette. I got these over Black Friday. I was so bummed. They had their 30 pan palettes for half off, and I've been talking about wanting Fade into Hue forever. And they didn't have Fade into Hue when their 30 pan palettes were 50% off, and then within like 2 days after that sale ended, Fade into Hue magically came into stock. Colourpop, why you gotta do me like this? So, anyway, I want to pull out Fractal, which looks to be a, I don't know, like some kind of duochrome shade. I feel like I'm gonna just dig a piece out of this if I'm not careful. I'm gonna have to move this. I feel like in the pan, these two shades are looking very similar. However, I think that they are going to look quite different in a swatch and on the eye. Yeah. You can tell that the shade from the pastel palette is more on the purpley lilac side, whereas this is more of a duochrome. Very, very pretty. Okay, so I'm thinking, yeah, I should be able to get 12 shades in here pretty easily. That's good. So, where do I go from here? Let's add in the cool toned gold. And I think for that I'm going to use I Dig It from Stone Cold Fox. That seems like it'll go really well. I need to add some kind of depth to this palette. Everything, especially all the shimmery shades right now, are looking very much in the same vein, and I want to avoid that if possible. So let's find something a little bit deeper. I'm kind of thinking that Majesty might be interesting, or Tiara. So I'm just going to pull out whichever one offers less resistance, because that's my general plan with these. Oh, that was not too hard. I feel like that could provide some really pretty contrast with the purples. I mean, look at those two together. That would be so pretty. Okay, this is starting to take shape now. Okay, I need some more depth in this palette. I'll probably need to add some matte depth. So let's jump to Stone Cold Fox. I think that the shade Cult Classic might work out really well for me. That is very deep, but it's still very cool toned, and it's not stark in the way that a black would be. Oh, I'm digging into that. One moment. I want that little bit of a grayish tone to this palette, and I think that will serve me well in that purpose. Let's just build out the neutral a little bit more. I feel like You Rock from the same palette would be another good neutral to have. It's, again, kind of gray tone, but I don't think it'll read as dead on the eyes, at least on my coloring. Now I want to add maybe some pink. I feel like that would be a nice set of shades to add. So how about we add Mystery? This is a light shimmery pink, though not nearly as light as So Fine from the same palette. It looks like I have 4 more shades to go. I'm gonna need to push this row down, I'm sure, but for the moment, I think it looks like I've got enough space to add 1, 2, 3, 4 additional shades. So let's add in something that's more pink than neutral. Certainly looking in comparison to the rest of the palette, this shade I feel is looking very, very neutral. And I think that the way to liven this palette up might be to add Daydream Baby. I'm going to keep calling things by whatever their name is in the palettes, even though I'm pretty sure that I did not put back the palettes in the correct order. So if you own these and you're getting very confused by me referring to things by their wrong name consistently. That's probably what's going on. I'll also want something light, and I think that my best option for this is probably Clarity. I want something that I can use as a brow bone highlight, and this is stunning for that purpose. Come out. There we are. This is not what I envisioned when I sat down to do this, but I'm kind of liking it. It's an interesting set of colors. So for a little bit more pop, I feel like right now, somehow this periwinkle shade is almost reading as a neutral to me with everything else, and the pops are looking like the blue and the pink. Not sure how that happened. I want some more poppy shades in here. So how about the shade, let's try Treasure, let's try Majesty. I feel like that will go nicely with the pinky purple shades that we have over here, as well as the neutrals. And it looks like we've got room for one more shade, so what should it be? I feel like I should probably add another color so that this ends up being half neutral, half colorful. And maybe, let's see, a matte would also probably be good because I don't really have a colorful matte with the exception of that periwinkle shade. So let's go with how about Surreal? That could be pretty. Or Geode Life. Why don't I just pull Surreal and we'll swatch the palette out, and we'll see if that is working for me, and if it's not, so we can just switch to Geode Life. Honestly, this is not a palette that I would purchase if I saw it at the store, but I'm kind of digging it. So let's swatch things out. I'm just going to go over my swatches of those first two shades again and build from there. Oh no. Just messed up that one pretty good. Oh well. Gotta say, it is pretty. Let's see if I can't give a swatch that isn't quite as tainted. Okay, that is the correct vibe. Yes. I love this. I actually really like the shade that I made on accident with the mixture of, I think it's this shade, which was Surreal, correct? And Clarity. Those two are beautiful together. I'm going to have to remember that. And then we have the rest of this palette. I can do some damage with this. I'm going to have so much fun with this over the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for some kind of video on this. It'll probably be a 2 looks, 1 palette or something very similar using this, because I'm excited to play with this over the next few weeks. This is the correct vibe. This is very wintry, and I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I really hope that I will see you in my next video. Bye!